If you haven't noticed yet, recently there's been a huge wave of challenge videos for a variety of games. From beating Breath of the Wild without climbing, to completing Odyssey with 0 coins, to not pressing right? Okay. I myself was interested in attempting this challenge. My first thought was to do a 3D Mario game, but many people have already covered those, and I don't want to choose a game that I have little experience in. Enter Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Considering the situation that I am in, it would definitely be the best fit for a challenge such as this. What is that challenge? Well, I am going to try and 3-star rank every cup on 150cc. This means that I will need to complete the Retro, Nitro, and DLC, so a grand total of 48 tracks. So before we begin, let's lay out a couple of rules for this challenge. 1. Anytime my coin counter goes up in a race will qualify as it being collected. This means that if I drive into any coins, I have to restart, even if I run into coins dropped by computers. And to make things a bit more difficult, if I lose coins and spin back into one, that will also qualify. And if I get any coin items, I am required to hold them until I either complete the race or lose them. 2. The run is complete when all cups are 3-star ranked. This means that if I pick up any coins or don't place first, the cup must be restarted. With that said, there are a few big problems that I will face. To begin with, at the start of the first race of every cup, I will have a default 5 coins. Because the game gives them to me at the beginning, I will not count them as being collected. I could purposely lose them, but given all of the RNG involved in this challenge, I think it's fair to just not count them. The other reason I am doing this is because of problem number 2. There is only one save file. Sure, I can create different Switch users for multiple files, but as far as I am aware, there is no way to copy files to other users. Because of this, if I finish a cup only to realize I collected a coin by accident, I will have to start the entire challenge over. Luckily, if I get any coins in the middle of the cup and restart, they aren't saved in the total. So theoretically, the only ones that will count are the ones I end with on the first race of each cup. I am also going to record the entire challenge as well as upload the raw footage to YouTube, which will be linked as a playlist down below. Just warning you ahead of time that the audio for these videos is kind of low. As some of you might know, I played a lot of the original Wii U title, so in terms of driving ability, I have no worries. However, my one concern is that I'll by instinct go for coins. Because if you have played this game at a high skill level, you know that getting 10 coins as fast as possible is crucial. This is because each one slightly increases your top speed, which also means that I will be driving a lot slower. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue to stay ahead of the pack. Luck is going to play a huge factor in this challenge, and if I am forced to hold a coin, I will be vulnerable to any and all items. Certain shortcuts will be off limits because of the risk of collecting coins, including some ramps that I'll have to be cautious around. I ultimately decided to play on the Switch version of Mario Kart 8. This is because while there will be double items, the amount of invincibility frames after getting hit by an item is much greater. Also, if I am stuck with a coin, there is a chance that a boo will steal it, giving me more opportunities to get a defensive item. My last worry is the coins themselves, specifically on tracks where they move. I'm sure that I'll mess up once in Wild Woods considering the water section has coins that will be challenging to avoid. In terms of characters, heavyweights are definitely out of the question given their massive hitbox. Medium weights might work, but I decided to go with the lightest class. Baby Mario it is. A benefit to using this character type is that lightweights have the best acceleration, which happens to be the most useful stat in the game. It also means that if I do get hit, it shouldn't take long for me to recover. Unfortunately, that also means that I have to watch out for being bumped by computers, as it could easily lead me to grabbing a coin or two. Streetle and Roller are both small and have good stats, so that will be our combination. The Mushroom Cup is definitely a good starting point, as there isn't too much to worry about. Aside from some coins after glider panels and a few tricky parts in Sweet Sweet Canyon, it should be smooth sailing. It's finally time to begin our first race on Mario Kart Stadium. It is at this point I realized just what I was getting myself into. It looks like RNG might be a bit more challenging than I thought. Nope. Luckily, third time's a charm. This track really wasn't hard at all, especially utilizing certain shortcuts that help keep me far ahead of the pack. though I do have a feeling that RNG is going to mess me up a lot in this challenge. Water Park involved a bit more concentration as some coins need to be maneuvered around, but it was very easy despite all the items being thrown my way. Sweet Sweet Canyon had some coins that were in spots hard to avoid, like right after the first turn and at the end, and some fireballs that nearly gave me a heart attack, but thanks to solid driving I was able to scrape by with the first. Thwomp Ruins was next, and I had no problem with it, but I was unable to take two different shortcuts because of the challenge. If I did the no item cut at the first ramp, I was afraid I would trick onto a coin that was placed there, and the one coin at the last ramp made it not worth risking. And finally, I had completed the very first cup in the game, and after checking the stats, I was in the clear. Onto the Flower Cup. Mario Circuit was a breeze, since all you really have to do is go tight to avoid the coins. Also, I purposely avoided the glider because of some coins that were put there. Toad Harbor was a pain, and I essentially played it safe taking the worst lines ever imaginable, and because there are moving hazards, it forced me to take a hit to remain coinless, which almost ruined my race, but looks like the luck was on my side that time. Twisted Mansion was very sneaky with its coin placements. I guess in that case it lives up to its name. And the glider section requires a bit more effort if one wants to avoid the coins. And I had to be very careful at the end since one coin was hidden behind a possessed statue. Shy Guy Falls wasn't so easy either, and I ended up going off-road just to avoid some of the coins as well as stick to the edge of the ramps and gliders. I never really felt safe in this race, but thank goodness I had a defensive item at the very end. 2 down, 10 more to go. And because I ended the first race with 2 of my 5 coins, it was updated in the stats section. The Star Cup wasn't too bad. I ended up having to restart in the second race because of bad luck. The Sunshine Airport, Dolphin Shoals, and Electrodrome just had a few glider sections you had to be careful around. And Mount Wario was only challenging in the third section as I had to control when I released MTs so I didn't run into any coins. I also went off track in section 2, which made things a bit easier. Only 1 Nitro Cup remained, and this one definitely was the most challenging of all 4. Right away, it was clear that the first bounce pad in Cloud Top Cruise would be a problem, so I decided to not trick at all and have better control of where I landed. Besides that, avoiding the lightning and going wide at the end, it was no problem. I was really worried about the next track though. Given the coin placement on ramps as well as the low traction areas, I had to be extra careful. Fortunately, there were no problems, and it was on to Bowser's Castle. Well, at least in the second attempt, I got this really cool shot before the boost pad in Cloud Top Cruise. Oh no, guys, it's Rainbow Road! How am I going to do this? I'm probably gonna mess up and have to restart the whole cup again. Done! Did I ever mention that I am very good at this Rainbow Road? I wish I could say that the rest was smooth sailing, but then the DLC cups happened. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these aren't difficult tracks. Yoshi Circuit can be done by just going tight, Excite Bike only involves a strategic planning of lines, and Driftway is, well, drifting very tightly. Mute City is a different story though. On these F-Zero tracks, the only way to get coins is by being on these pads, so you have to be very careful to not drive over them. It's okay though, we got this. 1 more lap to go. Yes, you saw that. We just ran into Koopa's coins, meaning that we have to restart the entire cup. And let me tell you, there were some close calls in this playthrough, but thanks to some good driving and dedication, the Egg Cup was conquered. It's okay though, because for the next cup, we are going to start on our own turf. The problem was that this is Baby Park, meaning that there was a higher chance of hitting items we normally would not have to worry about. Plus, we had a lot of CPU coins that needed to be avoided. There were quite a few restarts in this race alone. Cheeseland was slightly tricky because of the decreased traction, but wasn't difficult, even with all the items. But then I had to finally race on Wild Woods. Overall, I felt that I did well to avoid the coins. Maybe we won't have an issue after all. Oh. Never mind. Alright, we're back to Wild Woods. Let's do this. No, 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 no! Good. Now I don't have to hurt anybody. Yay. We did it. Oh yeah. We forgot about Animal Crossing. That was easy. and with half the cups done, that meant that only 6 remain. Wario's gold mine was the next track. I'll spare you on the details, but thanks to the blooper, I accidentally grabbed a coin. This one took a few attempts, especially with the awkward coin placements. SNES Rainbow Road, aka the sucky one, was easy. Most of this involved hugging the edge to a dangerously close amount. The end is sort of a troll, mainly because of the coin between the 2 thwomps. The only thing notable about Ice Ice Outpost was the coins at the beginning, along with having to go wide at the end. And finally, we were at Hyrule Castle. I'll have a good time here. I love Zelda. Stay tuned for my Why Breath of the Wild Sucks video. Speaking of things that suck, it is time to take on the Bell Cup. Don't get me wrong, I love all these tracks. Most of them. I just know that these are going to be more annoying. Neo Bowser City for the slick track, Ribbon Road for the many chances to mess up, and Super Bell Subway for its moving trains. Neo Bowser City was surprisingly easier than I thought. If I did go with a heavyweight character, it would have been a different story. I was also very good with my driving on Ribbon Road. Well, almost good. Alright, baby Mario, you got this. It's time to take home the gold. I hate this game sometimes. It's okay though, I have a great feeling about the next race. Well, at least we got first. This time we also thankfully didn't mess up on the last track and have to redo everything. Though if that did happen, my controller would have probably been broken. I'll be honest, after this, the retro tracks were kind of a relaxing time. I accidentally got some coins by habit and had to restart on Moo Moo Meadows, but that was the only mess up. I took advantage of some of the no-item shortcuts on Mario Circuit and avoided the rest of the coins by driving safely. Cheep Cheep Beach had nothing noteworthy, and even with the moving coins and trucks, Toad's Turnpike was a cakewalk. The Banana Cup was also extremely easy. Despite the low traction, you can avoid all the coins in Dry Desert by literally just turning tight everywhere. Going through the sand pit is also very useful. The same thing applies to Donut Plains 3, but there are some cases where going wider might be less risky. Once again, just having tight lines makes Royal Raceway simple. I never went for the ramp though because I didn't want to land on any coins. DK Jungle was the only moderately challenging one, and if I was redded any sooner I would have been bumped into a coin on the bridge. This leaves 2 cups, the Leaf and Lightning. Wario Stadium was without a doubt one of the trickiest ones, mainly because I had to drive off the edge of the boost pads and ramps to avoid coins. It took a few restarts. Sherbet Land was very easy, but Music Park is another story. Like Cloud Top, I never bothered tricking off the drum to avoid the coins at the turn, and I had to be cautious of the music notes near the end. Luckily, the shortcut at the end is safe since no coins can be collected there. Once again, first place was ours for the taking. Yoshi's Valley was the last one, and having multiple paths actually worked in my favor. I was able to avoid a blue shell because of it. There are some coins at a ramp which reminded me of why I chose a lightweight character in the first place, and because I was shocked, it made navigating through the moving coins a lot easier. And that's when I realized I forgot to record this cup. Oops. Well, I redid it anyways, just to be fair for the challenge. And finally, there was 1 cup remaining. Just by looking at the track list, I know this one won't be without a hiccup or two. Starting off, in TikTok Clock there is a very awkward ramp jump that you need to make, but the real fun starts at the gears where you have to avoid rotating coins. I somehow made it without messing up. Luckily, Piranha Plant Slide only had moving item boxes and no coins. And besides being careful not to get pushed into some coins underwater, it was all good. Grumble Volcano was kind of unpleasant with all the sinking chunks of land and moving coins, but once again, it wasn't enough to stop us. And finally, we were on the very last track. It was time to finish this challenge once and for all. Let's do this. You have got to be kidding me. TikTok Clock, Piranha Plant Slide, Grumble Volcano. TikTok Clock, Piranha Plant Slide, Grumble Volcano. And with that, we have beaten the 48th track. All the cups in the game have now been 3-star ranked. But did we get a completely coinless run? Let's look at the final results. Mission accomplished. So, was this the hardest coinless challenge out there? Of course not. But I do feel that I owe an apology to others who do these types of videos. Because after trying one out myself, I realized that dedication as well as a lot of patience are required to do these challenges. I think I'll just stick to playing my Mario games normally. For my run of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe without collecting any coins, there were 5 hours of playtime, 48 tracks driven, 12 cups 3-starred in 150cc, 26-ish times I had to restart a Grand Prix, and a total of 0 coins collected. So that's it! I'm finally done the challenge and don't have to worry about it anymore. No, that's it! There's nothing else to do in the game. To be continued? Maybe?